Hey guys, it's Andrew. Welcome back to Studio Time. Today in the studio, we're going to be checking out a brand new mic pre from Soyuz. It's called the Lakeside. The Lakeside is a single channel microphone preamp. By the way, if you're not familiar with Soyuz, Soyuz is a company that makes microphones, and this is their first product that is a mic pre. I've had it here for a couple months in the studio. I've been using it primarily on vocals and acoustic guitar, so we'll listen to some audio examples, but first let's take a look at the unit itself. On the left side, we have our 1/4" DI input right on the front. You have your microphone preamp, stepped, detinted gain knob. Then we have 3 switches here, which give us the option to use the DI input on the front or the connections on the back. You have 48 volts or phantom power with a little LED to indicate that the phantom power is switched on. And you have a phase reverse polarity switch. To the right, we have a high pass filter, which is also detinted and goes all the way up to 330 Hertz. And then on the right, we have our output level, which is not detinted. So you get that smooth, precise output level that you were looking for. Just to the right of that, we have another LED indicator for the power, and then of course the power switch. Okay, so to test this Lakeside preamp out, we are gonna record 2 different vocals, and we're gonna also record some acoustic guitar, and then we'll listen back to it. The vocal recording that we're doing is for a mix that I'm working on for an artist called Just Friends, and we're gonna do male vocals and female vocals. Now, the male vocals are actually coming through this microphone. This is a 023 from Soyuz. This is a FET condenser, otherwise known as the bomblet. And then the female vocals we're gonna record through the 17 FET, which has a little bit brighter of a sound. Both incredibly beautiful sounding microphones. I love the 17. That's probably one of my favorite vocal mics that I have. And then for the acoustic, we're also gonna use the 17 FET, and that's going to be for a different session. But all 3 sources are gonna be going through the Lakeside, and we will be using the 1176 compressor coming out of the Lakeside for all of them. So it'll be the same exact chain, and I'll pull those up so we can listen to them once they're done. All right, so now that we've recorded Gabe's vocals, we have male vocals recorded through the Soyuz 023 microphone going into the Lakeside. So this is a song that has both male and female vocals, and we used the Lakeside pre on both sets of vocals. We're gonna go ahead and listen back to them.
Keep talking, baby, we can go till midnight, but it's alright.
So on this, there are 3 layers of vocals. We have the lead, and then we have 2 doubles, because we're kind of going for like an indie acoustic layered vocal thing. So let's solo up some of these vocals. We'll do the lead here.
Keep talking, baby, we can go till midnight, but it's alright if you're too tired.
Now, this is within the context of the mix. So I'm gonna turn all the plugins on Gabe's voice off. There's only 3 plugins on here, by the way. We have Pro Q, which is just doing a little bit of high pass filtering, and a high shelf, an LA2, and a de-esser. That's it. And then there's a reverb. So it's just pretty straight, but here's with no effects on the vocal.
Keep talking, baby, we can go till midnight, but it's alright if you're too tired. You can fall asleep in the passenger seat.
So if that's totally bypassed, just clean Soyuz 023 into the Lakeside. And I had the gain on it pretty hot. So the input gain was up pretty high, and we were using a little bit of the high pass filter, but I think probably only 55 setting on the Lakeside pre, and I kept the same setting for the doubles. So here it is with the doubles, and I'm gonna bypass the plugins on the doubles as well.
Keep talking, baby, we can go till midnight, but it's alright if you're too tired.
To my ears, it's got just the slightest little bit of grit to it from the input gain, because we ran it a little bit hotter. And we are compressing through the 1176 on the way in as well, so we're getting that, nice pop compression on it. But it has a really nice warm color to it. So here's with the plugins without the reverbs.
Keep talking, baby, we can go till midnight, but it's alright.
Then we'll put the delay and reverbs back on.
Keep talking, baby, we can go till midnight. But it's alright if you're too tired.
Now let's jump over to the female vocals with Callie, which we did on the Soyuz, this mic right here, the 17 FET. Oh, you can't see it. This is the FET version of the 17 model, which is probably my favorite microphone from them. I love it so much.
We can go wherever, can't think anything better. On and on, dusk till dawn.
As you can tell, this is a very delicate performance, very light, quiet singing.
We can go wherever, can't think anything better.
You can hear that compressor working because she was very, very quiet. So I think we had the input gain just under or at the 50 setting on the input gain knob on the left, and the output was all the way up. And we were hitting the compressor pretty hard. She was singing very, very quietly. Let's bypass these effects on hers and hear it a little more dry. So this is without the reverbs.
We can go wherever, can't think anything better.
You can hear a little bit of that click in there. Now let's take off all the compression, and we've got de-esser, EQ, which is cutting out a little bit of mid, and high pass filter.
We can go wherever, can't think anything better. On and on.
So sounds great. Her voice through that mic sounds really, really nice. That's a hard vocal to capture when it's that quiet, and to not pick up a ton of room noise or just background sounds or mouth noises and things like that. It's very, very tricky, especially as you're compressing more and more of it. So that's female vocals. Let's put all the reverb and delays back on. Listen in context here.
We can go wherever, can't think anything better. On and on, dusk till dawn.
So that is both male and female vocals in the context of this type of song. Sounds really great. We were surprised with the 23 microphone on Gabe's voice. It's just got a really cool tone to it. Now let's jump over and listen to some acoustic guitar through this Lakeside pre. All right, so for the acoustic guitar, I use the Martin D18 Dreadnought, which is a bigger body sounding acoustic, and we used the Soyuz 17 FET on that through the Lakeside. For this session, I was playing Karma Police by Radiohead, so I'll just solo the acoustic so we can just hear it on its own, as is. So that is with my sauce on it. So I'm gonna turn all the plugins off here. I'm using an RMX16. Then we have the Unfairchild plugin on it for compression. And then a high pass filter, Pro Q. The EQ I'm using is actually the undertone EQ here. I'm just gonna bypass it on the unit. So here is the same thing with no plugins, just totally dry. Sounds absolutely amazing. One of my favorite sounds. Also, you can hear my dog walking at the end of the take there. Did you hear that? Hey man, it's a vibe. I left it in there. And then for those who care about the differences, the first part was with a pick strumming, and then let's listen to the chorus where I did finger picking. It's a little more soft sounding. And you can hear when I go back to the pick there. And then if we add our processing back on with the EQ and compression. Rolling out most of that body from the acoustic. I'll play it with the rest of the mix here, but my outboard gear is set for another mix, so the drums and some other things are gonna sound a little crazy, but it might be fun to just hear it in context. So here it is with some of the other instrumentation coming. And then the last example I have is actually on this electric guitar part here. This was just actually another Soyuz mic, the 1973, in the control room, about 3 or 4 feet away from a combo guitar amp. It was a Supro Blackmagic Tyler Bryant combo, very roomy, sort of distant, vibey electric guitar sound. So this is that going through the Lakeside as well. So far I have been loving this thing. I've been using it primarily on these things. Vocals, it's been the go-to vocal pre. I have boxed it up in this cool box over here, so it's essentially the same chain every time we go to do vocals. That pre hitting an 1176. We might create a dedicated compressor that lives in that box with it, so that way when my buddy Gabe, producer upstairs, we're working together on a lot of stuff, are doing vocals on the same track, we can pass the box back and forth. Just absolutely lovely. It's a great sounding preamp, and I'm really excited about it. I put links to the Lakeside preamp, some of the mics we used, and the rest of the gear that I use generally here in my studio right in the description. Those are Sweetwater affiliate links. Sweetwater is sponsoring this video, so shout out to them. You click those links, takes you to Sweetwater. Anything you pick up, I get a small commission, which helps support the channel here and what we're doing. So if you like videos like this, again, hit the subscribe button. Stay tuned for some fun new product videos coming out soon. Also, there is a free Epic Studio checklist. This is something new that I put together for anyone who's just getting started with their studio setup and they want to sort of know all of the different things to consider. You can get that for free also in the description. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked it, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.